welcome back to week 2 of the Average Joe Sports Show. So as you can see, we've changed the dynamic a little bit. We thought we'd give him more of a first take because he doesn't know what he's talking about 80% of the time, and I do. So I think it'd be very entertaining for y'all to see that, I'm the top dog here. So
not to quote the great Skip Bayless, but I will never lose a debate to you.
Well, we'll see. This week's matchups include Baylor at number 6, Oklahoma. Number 25, Texas Tech, taking on number 12, West Virginia. And number 18, Texas, taking on Kansas State.
What? Texas is back.
Just because I'm a man of my word, Texas football is back, but only for a week.
With an asterisk.
With an asterisk, because
they have to win this week.
They have to win this week. And if they don't, then good God. Someone needs to be fired. I'll tell you that right now. But let's hop into Baylor, Oklahoma for our first matchup. OU comes in averaging 44.3 points a game. Baylor comes in averaging 36 points a game. And, Oklahoma has branded their program past 5 years. And so I'm not really expecting anything different than, Oklahoma coming in, week out. But I know you have a slight bit of a bias because Baylor's quarterback is a 5'1" boy, huh?
Yeah, and he's from Austin. Little Charlie Brewer, he's a sophomore, gunslinger. His brother played at Texas Tech. I don't know why that just left my head. But he was part of that little quarterback tandem that transferred in the spring and went elsewhere. And that's how, little side note, that's how we got Pat Mahomes to be Pat Mahomes. Just luck of the draw. He ended up going to West Virginia, and, this family, they breed athletes. 6'1", 205, can fling the rock. But OU does have Kyler Murray at their starting quarterback position. Yeah,
Kyler Murray passing has already 1,028 yards, only 2 INTs with 11 TDs, so that's pretty good ratio coming in. And anyone who's watched Texas high school football, or just, once you hear, hey, this Kyler Murray dude's tearing up NCAA right now, let's check him out, let's see what he did in high school. Well, he went to Allen High School. He undefeated as a starter. It was like 43, 45-0.
3 state championships.
Back to back to back. And, he's a winner. And then he was, now he's Baker Mayfield's successor. And, just having Baker as a predecessor, you learn from one of the best.
Yeah, he got to watch a relentless competitor come in, which Baker had 2 state championships in high school. So, they just, OU knows what they're doing recruiting-wise.
Most definitely.
But Kyler, great athlete, 2-sport Under Armour All-American athlete.
Yep.
2-time Gatorade National Player of the Year.
Which is, I think he's the only one in Gatorade's accolade history to win that award for more than one sport. He did it in football and he did it in baseball, which for people who don't know, he is technically, he's on contract with the Oakland Athletics. So, they know about MLB. They make money out there. It's guaranteed money.
Yeah, right now he's making $5 million playing college football.
Playing college football.
And that's why we're seeing, I think, in my opinion, why we're seeing Kyler Murray play at such a high competitive level. One, he's already gotten paid.
Yep.
He can put his body on the line. He's still getting paid at the end of the day.
Yep.
He can feel bad taking an ice bath looking at his bank account.
Yeah, and he don't have to worry about homework. I guarantee he has 3 classes. Yoga, lunch, and recess. He ain't doing anything out there in Norman. I'll tell you that right now.
No. He's probably doing a little bit more. We'll give him, an English 2 class.
Yeah.
He's got to stay eligible.
Yeah, he's got to read some, Shakespeare, read Othello.
Yeah, I wouldn't give him, that much credit.
Well, hey, I was trying.
Not a knock on his intelligence, just perk of being Oklahoma.
Football royalty.
Yeah, so.
And let's just talk about defense right quick before we give our final thoughts on this glorified scrimmage.
It's Big 12 defense.
It's Big 12 defense. I mean, OU gives up 20 points a game. Baylor gives up 23, so that's pretty similar. But I feel like OU's defense is going to have its way with Baylor's offense.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, OU's just going to do what OU does, go out there, dominate, win.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think they're the powerhouse coming in. They're going to have a little chip on their shoulder because, you know, they had an overtime victory over Army.
Yep.
They fell back 2 spots in the polls.
Yep.
So they're trying to make sure that their name's not tainted.
Yeah. So you would say you do not smell an upset in Norman, Oklahoma.
No, Mama kept a clean kitchen.
Kept the clean kitchen. You heard it here first. There's not an upset coming this weekend, at least not in Norman. So do not look for the Baylor Bears to beat Oklahoma. That's just the fact of the matter. As we move along in our trek of college football week 5, Average Joe episode 2, we're going with Texas Tech, West Virginia. And if y'all watched our show last week, we predicted Tech and Alan Bowman to go into Stillwater, Oklahoma and kill some Cowboys.
Yep.
And he did just that.
Red Raiders did come out victorious over the Cowboys.
And he, of course, he's just been lighting up. He's throwing up video game numbers. I mean, just this year alone, he has 1,500 passing yards, 10 TDs, and only 2 interceptions.
In 3 football games.
In 3 football games, because he wasn't starting week 1.
No. I mean, and they had McLean Carter come
Mm-hmm.
in. He was cleared. Coach Kingsbury decided to roll with the hot hand.
Yep.
Which I feel like it's going to be a hard position for any head coach to be in. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you got the younger guy that, you know, he's coming in, he's balling out.
Yep.
But you also have the proven veteran that played last season, that got in the mix, kind of, you know, went through, competed, got the starting job, got hurt week 1, can't
Yep.
do anything about it. But, you know, next man up.
Next man up, and that man came, his first start, collegiate level, true freshman, 604 yards. 604 yards. That's ridiculous. And honestly, in my opinion, Kingsbury didn't have a decision to make. Bowman made it for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, you know, you do have that veteran guy on there.
I mean, maybe.
But you still roll with a hot hand regardless.
Okay, I just want to make sure we're on the same
Oh,
page.
yeah.
Because I didn't know for a second. I just wanted to make sure.
I ain't playing no games, I ain't fronting.
All right, well, and then he's going off with a Heisman candidate. Last I read, he could be out of the Heisman polls. But Will Greer.
Gunslinger.
Will Greer. I mean, I wish he would have done that at god dang Florida.
But hey, you gotta hit the crack pipe. He is the least famous of the Greer brothers.
But he's a little under Bowman in yards. He has 1,100 this season. He has 14 TDs, 3 INTs, which is a little bit more TDs, but 1 more interception. But he started 4 games, so that's something also to take into account. But I just want you to know this: West Virginia is going into Lubbock. They're going to the 806. We all know that student section's rocking. We know they're throwing tortillas. It's all good. You gotta have a mindset to go in that atmosphere and beat Tech. And if there's one thing Tech is great about, or is just great doing. God, sorry grammar Nazis, I apologize. You cannot, these Tech students and this Tech fan base, they see Tech every year, doesn't matter, as world beaters. They think they can beat anybody. They want Bama.
Week in and week out.
Yes, you could get beat by 60. And they'll show up next Saturday at their 11 a.m. game. Rowdy and ready to go.
Hey, you start tailgating at 8. You don't even remember kickoff. Halftime rolls around. That's just a great atmosphere to be in for Lubbock. You know,
The
The 806, like you said, can't beat it. They're a passionate fan base. They could be 0-13 for 4 years in a row. In Jones AT&T Stadium, right?
Yes. Yep.
Be sold out every week.
Every week, and the place will be rocking. That's a guarantee. So, like I said, you know, these northeastern Yankees, are driving down to Tejas, out in Lubbock, land of nowhere. I'm from that area. There ain't nothing out there but flatlands and cotton.
See the back of your head on a clear day.
Yes, sir. So, do you think West Virginia is going to come into Texas, and beat this high-powered Tech offense?
Yeah. I want Tech to win. I do. Like, I'm partial to it, right? I think Will Greer has experience and is a great leader of that offense going against a weak Tech defense.
Weak. I mean, he needs some milk.
They need that, some orange juice, some pancakes, a whole breakfast. They need the all-star breakfast from
Waffle House.
Waffle House. So he's just a veteran quarterback coming in against a weak defense, and I just don't see Tech coming out with this one just because Will Greer's experience going against a no-name defense.
Right. And, I mean, yeah, West Virginia's 3-0, like you said. Will Greer is a seasoned quarterback in the NCAA. He's a great leader. But the only thing I have to say to that ain't no problem. That ain't no problem. Allen Bowman's going to throw 600 yards. Tech going to be rocking. They're just coming off a big upset when they went to someone's crib. They went to the crib, took the baby and the bathwater, and they're coming in and we're going to win this game. I'm saying Tech is going to upset West Virginia.
West Virginia allows 185 yards passing a game.
Well, their average is about to change. I guarantee that.
Going up against a Tech offense that averages right now, you got to include week 1, they're averaging 435 yards a game. Going up against a defense that only allows
435 passing yards.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about the passing yards.
Okay.
Which that's Tech's offense. Air it out. 4th and 1.
5 wide, we're chunking that thing.
What's a running back? Non-existent. Right? Going up against the defense, though, is what I'm saying. You should like it, you know.
Oh, yeah, I love it. No fly zone.
No fly zone. SWAT team, no picks.
SWAT team, no picks.
You know, only averaging, though, 185 yards allowed through the air.
And this is where we see Allen Bowman gain his veteran status.
Okay. Hey, I'm here for it.
Yeah, you can come in and sling that thing. He's going to be like Brett Favre.
Hey, short-term memory. Throw a couple picks, you come back in, you throw a couple more touchdowns.
Throw off my back foot across the field, across my body. That ain't no problem.
Pat Mahomes did it every week.
Pat Mahomes, savage. So, I'm assuming you understand that experience is and I'm not downplaying that, but you know, you're going with West Virginia is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, you got a veteran quarterback. He is coming into an atmosphere that he should be able to handle. Coming from the SEC to the Big 12.
Yep.
You know, that is going to be a loud, crazy stadium. I think it might take the first quarter for them to get into a rhythm offensively. But after that, I just feel like veteran leadership on his part and him just having control of that offense and that team, he's just going to settle in and get comfy.
Yep.
And I just see West Virginia beating Texas Tech.
Well, I got my Texas Tech Red Raiders slinging the rock. I'm saying it's going to be nothing but an old-fashioned West Texas shootout. And I'm saying Tech, you're just going to have to outscore them. And we're going to outscore them. So that's my take. But let's go to, you know, the opposite side of Texas and look at these Texas Longhorns going up against Kansas State.
Texas is back, baby. Back again.
Guess who's back?
Texas is back.
No, I do not think.
With an asterisk.
Whatever that means.
Like, it's got that little star beside it. Texas is back, asterisk.
They're traveling to Kansas, which isn't that far of a drive. I mean, it's not like the Mountaineers going down to Lubbock, but
I hope they have a little bit of money can fly. You know, from Texas to Kansas and West Virginia to Texas.
Oh yeah, it's a good program. But I'm just saying they're in a different atmosphere. They're not sleeping in their beds at night. The night before the game. I just don't.
It's gonna be a little colder. You know, they are up north. It's not that wonderful Austin weather.
Yeah.
That beautiful humidity, sunshine.
But you know, as much as I mean, talking about the Longhorns just puts a bitter taste in my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to give Sam Ehlinger his props. He is really gaining ground, you know, finding a rhythm with this Texas offense, and he's getting comfortable back there. And I mean, his receivers, I believe he's starting to trust them a lot more.
Yeah.
And so, you know, as much as I hate to say it, I think Sam Ehlinger is going to lead this Longhorn offense and just this Longhorn team to a win over the Kansas State, whatever Kansas State are. Wildcats. I knew there was some type of cat, but I was going to say cougar, and I was like, no.
Yeah. Well, Sam Ehlinger was kind of put into his position. You know, you want to go out and compete for that starting job.
Yeah.
You know, like same mindset we had coming in. You know, there could have been 4 seniors ahead of us, but we're like, no, we're better than them because that's the competitor in us.
Yeah.
There's a lot of R's in that. But you know, he came in, competed, got the starting job, split time here and there. And then this year, coming into the season, he was named the starter. So he was kind of forced to grow up a little bit.
Yeah.
And, you know, people just assume, or a fan base assumes, well, you got the starting job, you might as well be a mature quarterback now.
Yeah.
But there's growing pains. I think he's coming into his own. He's starting to protect the football better, make smart decisions. Like you said, he is putting trust into those receivers. Where they, you know, that offense, like you said, they're rolling, they're picking up, and he's flinging the rock, they're running the rock.
Yeah, I mean, he's 60% on the year in pass completions, throw for 978 yards. He's almost about to get him 1,000, which he will surpass this game going into Kansas State. So I see Texas winning this. I'd say, yeah, I don't think it's going to be. I'm not saying it's definitely not going to be a blowout, but I think, you know, they'll be in a position where they're comfortable and saying, hey, you know, we got this in the bag. So they're just going to stick to the bread and butter and just, you know, go in, Kansas, get a win, go home.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that one.
Well, I mean, that brings us to the game of the week, Ohio State.
Whoa, the Ohio State University.
The Ohio State University versus the brothers who have love, Penn State. And now that I think about Penn State and its history, they did have some love for brothers. But anyways, that's beside the point. Yeah, that's beside the point. But, I mean, number 4 at number 10, I mean, it's not that far of a travel. I mean, it's still a travel. But, hey, they're going into Pennsylvania. And like I was making a joke earlier, I mean, I'll always remember when Emmitt Smith was with the Cowboys, and they were asking him how he felt playing in Philadelphia against the Eagles. And, I mean, you know, Eagles-Cowboys, big rivalry. But he was like, yeah, we're playing in the city of brotherly love, but that city has no love for a brother. And so, you know, they're going in to Pennsylvania, the city that has no love for a brother or brothers or brothers. Brother. They don't have any love for anybody, and they're going to a college atmosphere. So, you know, the maturity isn't going to be as high. No. And the play's going to be rocking.
It's a whiteout game for Penn State, 7:30. Yeah, it's going to be a loud atmosphere. It's loud on TV.
So you're just feeling some type of seismic energy in that place, you guessing.
I mean, it definitely affects you. You know, everybody talks about how crucial or how, like, the crowd plays into confidence. Like, if the crowd's down, you're like, oh, man, we're down. Like, that realization comes to you, like, crap. It's going to be loud from the time before kickoff, from, like, pregame till after the game.
Till they turn the stadium lights off.
It's going to be loud.
Yeah, I mean, I feel sorry for the people who, you know, live by the stadium. But the interesting thing is Ohio State comes in averaging 54 points a game. Penn State averaging 55. And, you know, those are Big 12 scores. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
And so that just makes you automatically think, okay, so what are their defenses doing? And so Ohio State allows 17 points, Penn State allows 19.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're pretty well evenly matched. Even on the offensive end, Ohio State averages 368 passing yards and 233 rushing yards per game. And then you look at Penn State, they're 239 passing yards, 275 rushing yards. So both teams are well balanced, well rounded. Ohio State does have a little bit more of an offensive air raid threat than Penn State, but the intangible leadership psyche, and that's when we talk about quarterback for Penn State, Trace McSorley. This dude is the epitome of a leader. That is someone I would go into battle with. I would go into a suicide mission with. You know, he kind of reminds me of Tebow, not really in playing style, but his mentality, his love for his team, his leadership. And so, I mean, you being quarterback, what does it mean for a team? Because I mean, quarterback touches the ball every play. He's the leader. I mean, just stereotypically. So, just tell us a little bit about, you know, how as a quarterback being that type of leader for this team, especially on the big stage, how much that comes into play.
You know, everybody, you know, they go to the quarterback when it's down. You know, when a team loses, the first thing they talk about is the quarterback. When the team wins, the first thing they do is talk about a quarterback. As a defensive guy, you know, you could have been team captain or the captain of the defense, and the quarterback, C.J. Collins, the quarterback of the offense, right? If y'all were both, or if you were talking and C.J. spoke up and wanted to talk to the team, what would you have done?
I would have sat down.
Right, because, I mean, it's without a doubt the quarterback's the leader of the team, and everybody's going to feed into his energy.
Yeah.
If he's fired up, you're going to be fired up. Everybody's going to be fired up. Stands are going to be fired up. Coaches are going to be fired up.
Yeah.
And that's what people want to see. They want to see a quarterback be passionate. You know, you don't want to see, you don't want to see a quarterback going out there going through the motions, throwing a pass, handing the football off, go 3 and out, and they're just kind of like, oh, okay, running back to the sideline. You want to see your quarterback out there slapping hands, slapping heads on a 3 and out. You know, they're patting the O-line on the back. You know, talking to the receivers, clapping. You know, you're making your presence known. To where you're you got to be the emotional leader also of that team, and I think he does that. He's passionate. He's fiery. He's what you want to see. He's gonna lay it all out there for him. He wants a natty.
Yeah, he wants a natty. And, you know, the thing that just stands out to me is, you know, we were talking about Bowman and his crazy video game-like numbers, as well as Kyler Murray. Rain went blank. Kyler Murray as well. And, you know, when you look at Trace McSorley's numbers on paper, I mean, he just looks like a subpar quarterback. I mean, he only has 763 yards passing, 8 touchdowns, 2 INTs. And, you know, you're thinking, he's a game manager. You start thinking about Fromm again, you know?
Right.
But that is just his mentality, his psyche. That is just a completely different. It's a game in itself, aside from athleticism and discipline.
You hear it in basketball a lot. They talk about a lot of things like Draymond Green. He does a lot of things that aren't going to show up on the stat sheet.
Yep.
Same way with him. If you're a great emotional leader for your team, you can hand the football off and let your running back go out there.
Yep.
And he can average 200 yards a game, and you can throw for 250 a game. But you're just going to have that oomph to you. You're going to have that sexy appeal of like, wow, this guy, this young man is passionate about the game of football, and it projects him. You know, that's why we talk about Trace McSorley versus Jake Fromm. You know what I mean? Like, they probably have identical numbers, you know. But if you were to look at him, you're going to pick him over film just because of, you know, what he brings aside from his athletic ability.
Yeah, and that's something you always have to take into account. And that just makes me think about 6'3", 220-pound quarterback Dwayne Haskins Jr. I mean, dude's thrown for 1,100 yards this season, 16 TDs, 1 INT.
You know, the only way that gets better is if there's no pick.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
so-
He's playing lights out.
Mhm.
He's playing lights out. They're 4-0. Penn State's 4-0. And, you know, Urban's back.
It'll be his second week back. Yeah.
Second week back. And, you know, his interim head coach, which I believe is on the staff, is like
Mhm.
OC. Is he the OC?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, they still trusted in him, but Urban always brings, like we said, that intangible aspect to the game that, you know, you can't, it's very hard to be liked by a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like, when you can get people to buy into you week in and week out, then, you know, it's very powerful.
Yeah.
So I just, do you think the Ohio State Buckeyes are going to go into Pennsylvania at Penn State and beat the Nittany Lions?
I think it's going to be a loud atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to expect it. I think they can try to expect it, but I don't think they fully understand the level of how loud, the intensity, the
Yep.
atmosphere
Mhm.
that they're going to be engulfed in
Yeah.
for a guaranteed 48 minutes.
Yeah.
I just think it's going to be too much.
Yeah, I think they go in, and I just feel like I love an underdog story in which you don't really look to Penn State as an underdog. I
No.
mean, they're not chose to win, but I mean,
Yeah.
One thing about Penn State, because I mean, the past couple of years when they had it was death penalty basically,
Yeah.
they've been chomping at the bit to have an opportunity to play at this level again, and then now here they are playing the Ohio State on their home turf. They're top 10 ranked, both teams, and they know you beat number 4 Ohio State, you're getting the chance to contend to get in that college football playoff. And I mean, that's the goal at the end of the season.
Yeah. You want to be one of those final 4.
Yep.
And right now, the top 15 all would make good candidates
Mhm.
to be in that college football playoff, in my opinion. But I do think that Penn State will be too much for the Ohio State this Saturday night. Got whiteout 7:30. It's going to be dark. It's going to be loud. And we got an upset.
We got the upset,
Mm-hmm.
and we got Trace McSorley behind the helm.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a good week of matchups. We're excited that you've stayed tuned in with us and watching, and we appreciate the support and love. Just know the only way's up, and we look forward to next week's show and matchups and see how right I was this week and how wrong he was. So, with that being said,
Well, I forgot we got to mention about next week is when we will start our Heisman Trophy conversation about who we think.
yeah. So next week we're going to start talking about Heisman hopefuls, who we believe, you know, is just going to be, when it comes down, excuse me, when it comes down to that award being distributed, who's going to have it? Who knows? Not Ed Oliver, I'll tell you that much, especially after that Tech game. But, like I'm saying, we appreciate the love, the support. We'll see y'all next Saturday. God first, God bless.